I am a big fan of hard video games, especially when the third game have this cute little anime art style on it. It really contrasts of how brutal the game is. And I have a lot of hard game in my library. I start looking at it, and what I've noticed is that all the game with bunny girls in it happen to have the most insane difficulty of all time. I have a lot of games in my library, and these bunnies game always seem to be on the top rank of the game I struggle the most at. Not even Dark Souls compared to these games. So let's go through them one by one. Rabi and Steel. This is the game that I have been recently playing. It's stuck on my backlog for a while because when I bought it, I found out that this game is more focused on multiplayer. And I don't really have friends to play with, so I just never really played that long. And I don't feel like refunding. Also, it's stuck around for a while until I start playing it, because I don't really have anything else to do. And even playing alone, this game is actually pretty good. So how did this game work? It's a look-like bullet hell, sort of. I mean, the majority of the attack boss doing are not really a bullet, but with how much stuff they throw at you, they might as well be a bullet hell. Apparently, this game is inspired by a raid boss in an MMO, but I never really played a lot of MMOs, so I didn't really know much. But this game is still good though. In this game, you play as a bunny girls, of course, and you start out with 5 classes. Like each of these classes have its own gimmick to it. Like this assassin that you need to go behind the enemy to deal more damage, or the wizard that you can cast a field and you have to stay in the field to do more damage. The heavy bladed you can launch at enemy to do a melee damage. The druid you can summon a bunch of butterfly to attack enemy. I mean, these cards seem simple to use enough, but it's really hard to micromanage their gimmick, especially when boss throw like 1,000 things at you. Which is why I love to play as the dancer. It's like the most blameless card ever. She can do a lot of damage right off the bat. Her gimmick is that her primary and secondary attack can resist special, so you could spam special more often. Now the thing about this class is that unlike other classes where you need to strategize on how you use the skill, this class you just spam primary and secondary, and then use special when you hear a special reset sound. And it's not like it's hard to hit either. The secondary literally just auto aim at enemy, and the special AoE is so large it might as well take up the whole screen. So this is the best class for someone with skill issue like me. Now this game has 4 difficulty: cute, which is easy mode, normal is normal, hard is hard, but also in a fight there's a time limit, so if your DPS is not high enough, you basically just lose. Luna is way too hard. I can't even get past the first area. This game is basically a boss rush the game. There's no area to explore or anything, it's just boss after boss. I mean, technically there are normal enemies. At least the game thinks this is a normal enemy. But look at this. Does this look like normal enemy to you? I think what stands out the most to me about this game is how the enemy attacks work. It's something I have never seen before. The way they choreograph the attack is really unique. At least to me, because I never played MMO, I'm not sure if this is a normal occurrence in an MMO. Like in Bullet Hell, although the game is kinda hard, you can kinda just turn your brain off and kinda focus on just dodging whatever throw at you. Like I don't really think much. But in this game, that is not an option. Like, majority of the attack require you to pre-position yourself at the right place, and they will just throw these strange symbols at me, and you only have like a split second to figure out where to stay. And when I say split second, I'm not kidding. The millisecond you got confused by what the enemy just placed on the field, it's already over. The only reason I even managed to play this game on hard mode is that I paused the game just to figure out where I'm supposed to stand. It's the benefit of playing on solo, really. Especially on this crow boss, where the main gimmick is that it teleports you around. Like I have no experience on this. This is total chaos. Like it teleports you around. Like I cannot react to anything. Stop calling me stupid. There is a story in this game. I don't really understand what's going on because all the story bits seem to be mostly from this NPC that have random conversation, or this shopkeeper that talk about random stuff happen to the area. Like there's a spell or something, I don't know. But the world seems interesting. It might be good if I'm smart enough to piece them all together. Well, anyway, I really love the art style of this game. It looks pretty cute and fluffy. It got this hand-drawn style to it, and I especially love how the bosses transform into their base animal. It looks pretty cool. If there's one thing I'm gonna complain about, is that it's kinda hard to distinguish between the enemy attack that is just there to telegraph the attack or the attack that is already active. I find myself trying to avoid the attack that is not active yet. That would cause me to take a roundabout way to go to the safe spot, which ended up making me not have enough time to avoid an enemy attack. Okay, and next is the music. The music is pretty good, and it has some soundtrack that kinda reminded me of Phantasy Star Online 2. Well, okay, I just said I never played MMO, but I did play Phantasy Star Online 2 like a long time ago. But there's this great song that every player obviously going to remember this, the Emerald Lakeside music. Anyway, on to the next game. Rabbit Hole. Unlike last game, this game is free. You can play it right now. It's another roguelike. The first character that you have is this girl. It's the girl with bunny ears. I'm not sure if she's actually bunny girls or is it just accessory. This game is a run and gun, where you get to shoot enemy with guns. You also have a melee, which is really useful because it do a lot of damage, which is weird because it do more damage than most guns in the game. And as you traverse to the stage, you get a new gun and stuff. Almost like a Enter the Gungeon. There's not really a lot of unique item, it's just guns. And most of the guns are kinda terrible. It's not worth picking up. The damage sucks, and sometimes have this weird gimmick bullet, and the damage doesn't compensate for it. And the default gun ended up being better. There's only ever a few guns that are actually good. First is the nail gun. This nail gun can shoot nail that attach to enemy and do like 100 damage. Outclass every other weapon in the game. It doesn't really scale with the damage upgrades, so it's only ever good at early games. Second is the gold revolver. This can do a lot of damage for one shot, but have a really long reload time. But it's really useful at dishing out a lot of damage at enemy as soon as you enter the room, and then immediately switch to other weapon. Third is the rocket launcher. It do a lot of damage, it do a splash damage too, so it's really good at clearing the whole room. Fourth, the best one, the minigun. This gun can potentially do the most damage. It have a lot of bullet, but it have a really long reload time, but it doesn't really matter because all the enemy probably dead before you get to reload. Okay, let's talk about the actual gameplay. This game, it's so hard. It's so punishing. Like, this game have contact damage, meaning enemy can just move at you and you just take damage. The dodge roll is your only friend here. Except the dodge rolls have these small delays and it just launches you a little forward without any iframe, which will make you make contact with the enemy contact damage. And the boss in this game, the boss in this game is horseshit. Especially this twin of tank. How the hell are you even supposed to dodge all this? I hate the slides so much. Anyway, let's talk about what you could find in the stage in this game. Most of the rooms are filled with enemy that you have to kill all of them. For some reason, it doesn't let you pause in battle, so no more pausing to rethink my life decision like Rabi and Steel, I guess. The shop in this game is quite amusing. The shopkeeper will just constantly try to flirt with you. I only ever buy this pudding that increases your damage overall. And there's this guy with sunglasses that talk like Duke Nukem. He might give you a random permanent buff, with also a permanent debuff. And sometimes, the debuff is that it just straight up kill you. This guy can change up the gameplay a lot, if you got lucky and see something that actually worth the trade-off. This room is my favorite. It lets you play a target minigame. You will get a lot of money as a reward. The best strategy is just to hit the target with a bat, since the points are scale based on the damage, and melee can do a lot of damage. And also, there is a dog you could pet. There are a few more rooms, but I'll leave you to find it out yourself. Now the furthest in this game that I ever get to is meeting this final boss. This boss is like bullshit. I have no idea to dodge anything, she's too fast, and I keep accidentally roll into her and take contact damage. I hate contact damage so much. And even if I beat her, there's a second phase. No way I'm trying to do this. This game is really hard. Like, at least with all the other games I talk about, I have at least persevered far enough to beat the final boss. Not the case for this game. It's totally hopeless for me. If you go out into the menu, there's a library, and you can walk around and read books. You collect these books throughout the game, and they have a bunch of lore and stuff. But I'm not reading all that. Maybe once I open this locked room, I might care not to start reading. Oh hey, Yuri novel. This game is pretty gay. I really love the music in this game. It made me feel pretty nostalgic. And not just because it's a retro 8-bit style music, but it's because it kinda reminded me of Cave Story, if you know what that is. And I really like how when you pause the game, the music just changes to a lo-fi version. A pretty cool detail. This game pixel art is also great. They're really cute, and the limited palette art style really works well together. Despite how hard this game is, it's pretty addicting for some reason. Which is strange because I quit into the dungeon pretty quickly, it's just pretty boring for me. But this game is just keep trying. I think it's because this game is way more fast paced and it doesn't take like eternity to clear a room. Honestly, surprised me that this game is free. After this video, I will try to beat this game somehow. I just unlocked this robot character and it have an ability to parry, which finally turned the contact damage into my favorite for once. Well, anyway, that's it about this game. Next game. Rabi. Finally, a non-roguelike game. This is a more cutesy Metroidvania with really hard boss fight because they are bullet hell boss. This game really stands out for me. For some reason, the game in the genre of Metroidvania like to have a dark and gritty atmosphere and a dying world with jaded color. I mean, it is fine, but it can get pretty boring, which makes this game really special. Because it decided to go a complete opposite direction. Places are bright and colorful, they are populated with people, and they are pretty chill. Most of the conflict are based on misunderstanding, and the fight will start over a trivial reason. Honestly, I haven't seen any other Metroidvania that take a more light-hearted tone like this. If you know some, tell me in the comments. I'm tired of the dark Metroidvania. Now first, let's point out the elephant in the room. This game is kinda horny. Not like excessively horny, but it is horny enough to make some people uncomfortable. The character design are kinda questionable sometimes, since this game kinda lean into a more anime fan service vibe. The other two games I talk about, although they have an anime art style, they didn't feel as anime as this one. Personally, I don't really care because the game is pretty good. And although the dialogue is kinda cringy, when it's starting to grow on you, it's kinda charming in a way. And yeah, from the look of it, this game is also kinda gay. Let's talk about the gameplay. Since this is a Metroidvania, obviously there's gonna be exploration, and they have a lot of different area and they look pretty unique visually. Like this scribish area, I like how the sky is like falling in the background, and this blue area with the moonlight in the background. During exploration, you will find these items to upgrade your stats and stuff. You may also find these badges that you can equip. Yeah, just like this is a badge system, like Hollow Knight, except this game came out before Hollow Knight. Well, they all came from Paper Mario, I guess. This game is actually kinda open world-ish. So this game really embraces sequence breaking, so you can fight a lot of boss out of order. Like there are some way that you could potentially just skip the boss. Like for example, wall jumping. It's an ability that you need to unlock later in the game. But did you know that you could already do a wall jumping right at the start of the game? You just have to do this weird jumping tech, but you need to time when you turn around correctly, and you will be able to wall jump. And while doing that, if you launch yourself down and hit the wall, you will just bounce up. There's a lot of secret tech in this game, enough that there is a whole custom map dedicated to teaching you a bunch of secret tech in this game, and it is acknowledged by the game too because it's an achievement for it. Now let's get to the good part. Bosses. There's a lot of them, and they are pretty fun. Now here's how boss work, alright? A lot of boss attacks in this game are bullet hells, so they're gonna unleash a barrage of bullets at you. Now this can be pretty tricky, because this is a platformer, not a shmup where you could just move anywhere you want. So you have to jump around to dodge a bullet, and these bullets can get pretty insane. And the worst part is that enemies also have contact damage. Not the contact damage again. I hate contact damage. I'm allergic to touching women. It should be illegal to have an enemy with contact damage in a game focused on melee like this. And oh yeah, melee damage. The main way to do the damage to the enemy in this game is to use your hammer and hit the enemy at close range. I mean, it seemed absolutely horrible to have a melee focused combat for an enemy that mostly do bullet hell. But the openings are pretty clear and you can do it very often. And when you do damage to enemy, they just stun for a while you do a really satisfying hammer combo. Oh, and also hitting an enemy with melee also make them not do contact damage, which made it a bit better. You do have a ranged attack though. You will eventually meet this fairy that will join the battle with you, and you can use her to shoot various projectiles. And she's completely independent of your actions, so you could just continuously shooting all the time, while you're dodging or just hitting enemy with hammer. And doing damage continuously is very much encouraged, because this game have this style ranking system that require you to do damage at enemy at all time. Because taking too long will just drop the rank. This rank is not just for show, however, because having high rank means you do a lot more damage. So this game requires a really aggressive gameplay, which I really like. Although this is the thing I don't like about this game, is that I think boss have a bit too much HP. Like look at this boss health bar. Look at how little I do damage to her. The late game boss will literally have 40 health bar. This big battle become quite an uphill battle because dying can be devastating because you would have to slowly scratch out boss health bar little by little all over again. It is not too bad though. Boss will have a lot of attack pattern that sometimes boss will just pull out a new attack pattern out of nowhere when you restart. It's probably because boss didn't get a chance to use that move before you die, but I like to think that boss will simply just adapt and create new move on the fly. But even if you do memorize all the pattern, you will still have to deal with the boss ultimate attack when their HP is low enough, which usually are the hardest attack they can do, which will certainly kill you by surprise. Now as for the plot of this game, it can get pretty weird. You are a pet bunny, and all of a sudden you transform into a humanoid bunny girl, and you must reunite back to your master. But we got back to the master pretty quickly. But if the master's sister go missing, she last seen on this weird altar over here. So you must go around the world to find a magic user to help activate this altar so that you can go find the master's sister. Like it seems like there is weird cult that worship bunnies because the bunnies are nearly extinct or something. So they will start chasing after you because you are bunny girls. And even weirder, there is this weird aurora thing that hypnotizes people into loving bunnies a bit too much that they start attacking you. The story is pretty non-serious, which I like. It's pretty stress-free. Let's talk about the graphic of this game. It's not exactly very visually beautiful, but it looks pretty decent, and it kinda have an early 2000s computer games vibe, almost like Maple Stories. It made me feel nostalgic in a way more than typical pixel art. Although this game pixel art is kinda inconsistent sometimes. Like sometimes the background have pretty high pixel, while this car over here have these low pixels. It can be pretty jarring, but then again, this is the reason why I felt like this have an early computer game vibe, with like inconsistent asset and stuff. But despite inconsistent pixel, this game still looks pretty good. It really tells you that the color choice is way more important than how consistent the asset itself is. The CG of this game is pretty good. I will talk about this, but they can be pretty horny at times. And as for the music of this game, it is good. Okay, I keep saying this, like every single game we talk about have good music, of course. Most of the boss music in this game have this techno D&B style music, which I really love. Like especially this song, Browse Bake. It's like one of my inspiration why I start doing D&B music in the first place actually. And not just boss battle, the overworld soundtrack is pretty charming. They fit the vibe pretty well with this light-hearted vibe. The more I listen to it, the more I wish more Metroidvania go to this route of not having a dark and gritty theme all the time. Honestly, this is like one of my favorite games of all time actually. It felt pretty cozy for me, despite how brutal the game is. Now, there is a sequel, well, a prequel to this game called Rabi, which also have bunny girls, so that's one more bunny girls game added to the list, but I haven't played that game yet. I heard the gameplay is better there, so I'll play that game too eventually. And that's about it. That's all the game with bunny girls I played. This game are really hard. It's pretty strange that all 3 games with bunny girls are so difficult for some reason. Anyway, this game I've talked about are like pretty good. If you like a difficult games like this, that is also pretty cute, I really recommend them. And thank you for making it this far in the video. Remember to like and subscribe if you like my video, so I might make more videos like this, talking about games or something. I would like to branch out my content if possible. I mean, I was making games, but the only viable content would be devlog. But I would like to actually upload more often if possible. Like at least once every 1 or 2 weeks. And I don't think it is possible to make a video on something as time consuming as game development in every few weeks. So I need some filler videos. Plus it is another thing I'm passionate about anyway. So yeah, that's about it.